You don't look like Steve Menendian.
Thank God. Yes, I'm.
Turns out those two
No,
matches went so fast that Steve's still not home from work yet. He's 10 minutes
no,
away, so you can hang out with us for 10 minutes. We may be done in 10 minutes.
absolutely. The nice part about being on the coast is that on the East Coast is that this starts at 9 p.m. for me. So having this interfere with work, if anything, it'll interfere with the next morning.
There
I
you go.
I always get so excited when I play in this that I have trouble going to sleep. But
I got to say, the commercials that just went by the way, I don't know about you, but I am super excited for Tempest Remastered.
I can't wait. I was just saying how I've been playing Wastelandless workshop decks, and I think this will fix that. The other thing is I actually enjoy drafting Tempest. I really think it's a fun set to draft.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I enjoy drafting Tempest. I think because that's back when I was, a Pro Tour regular. I was one of the better players around when Tempest was the draft format. It's been a while, but it's nice to be reminded of, oh yeah, I'm good with these cards in my hand.
Absolutely. I think Tempest was a great set. Do you remember Tempest Block Constructed?
Oh
There was a
yeah,
lot of diversity there for such a. I mean, I know Tempest is an enormous block. There were a ton of cards in it, but you had the mono red burn decks. You had the survival combo decks.
oh yeah.
You had the Tradewind Rider decks.
You had Counter
Um,
Phoenix.
yeah, and yeah, you had the Andrew Cuneo Zones deck with a
That
bunch
was
of
more
blue cards.
standard constructed than Tempest
No, that's
though,
true.
but sure.
That's true. But
Yeah, no,
still,
we played Counter Phoenix in block, so same basic idea. I think
yeah.
I played a Grand Prix with fully 30 land in my deck in that format. Counter Phoenix. All right, but enough reminiscing. We've got more semifinal action. So match number 3, I saw this when the deck list came in. You were talking earlier about LSV 4-0ing that daily, right? So LSV 4-0 to daily with, I guess, Grixis control. I'm not even sure what to call it because it's not like the signature cards in the deck. It's got 3 copies of Dak Faden and it's got 2 copies of Notion Thief. I think it's Grixis Thieves.
Yeah, absolutely. Dak Fade and Ocean Thieves. I mean, you're the greatest thief in the multiverse and his sidekick, and they go on fun adventures together.
I think
They're
that's the deck. So here's the punchline. That is LSV's third deck.
awesome.
It is also Efro's third deck. We get
Well,
the
then I'm
mirror.
very
This deck, this archetype that doesn't even exist until Luis Foro's a daily like a week ago, a couple of days ago, and now somehow we get the mirror.
well. I'm looking
Vintage
forward to
Super
this.
League, everybody.
I'm thrilled to be back for commentary for this because I might have played them in a Control Slaver Shell, Dak Fade, and a Notion Thief, or they're cards that I love playing. They're two cards that are really powerful on their own, but when you combine them, they just transform into this game-ending monster.
All
So
right. Well, I think we
I
can go ahead
felt
and start this. I don't think we're going to wait all the way for Steve. Um, I don't know if Luis and Eric are probably chomping at the bit to pace these guys play. Eric's up 2-0. So if you
mhm.
think about it, Eric Froelich is now 11-0 in Vintage Super League matches where he does not have Bazaar Baghdad in his deck.
Right, and it seems like Bazaar Baghdad was not good to anyone this season.
No, 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 no. And I mean, think about the contrast. Eric is 6-0, and then he manages to limp into the 3 seed with an 0-3 finish and a loss in the tiebreaker, so kind of an 0-4 finish. But then he
Hmm.
3-0s me, and he's 2-0'd Luis so far. So he's
Right.
5-0 in
So
playoff matches.
so outside of necromancy, he's a powerful wizard.
Something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I'm definitely rooting for more Magic. I don't know if it feels weird too. If Eric copies Luis's daily winning deck and then beats him with it, that doesn't seem like that's how this should work, right?
I think LSV has the home field advantage here, and I'd be really interested to actually see what happens when they get to pick their decks. Does LSV throw the curveball of going back to Oath?
Yeah, no, that's a fair question. Interestingly, by the way, for anyone who is looking at the daily list, the magiconline.com list of 4-0s and dailies, Luis actually forgot to put a time vault in his deck. His deck list just it has a key, it has Tinker for Colossus, it's just doesn't have a Time Vault. He literally forgot to put Time Vault in his deck. Neither
Maybe
player has made that mistake here.
maybe he's made a timely change and added that in.
So, I mean, it's a mirror match. It's, again, like you say, it seems like Luis has the home field advantage here. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and play. We'll get the match ready. We will be down there momentarily. Eric's up 2-0. If he wins this, he's through to the finals, playing against Chris Bakula. If he loses, though, we get to have the awesome mind game of what do people play in match number 4. All right.
So
Luis has
it
the
looks like
Academy.
Ifro's on the play, and has he mulliganed to 6?
No, there's a card off the screen to the left.
Okay. There's a
Hey, Jason.
sneaky Jace in the corner there.
It's funny. Both players have artifact cards that really want artifacts, but no artifacts. Eric has Tinker with no artifacts. Luis has Academy with no artifacts. But
LSV has Brainstorm.
Yep.
But it looks like there's a.
And Eric has Dax.
Like
so both players have the ability to fix
well, if you want an artifact, you won't do better than Black Lotus.
Well,
if he just
that's
runs
not going to
out
help
his
you Tinker.
No, but it's going to help him have a turn 2 Jace here. And he can even protect
turn
it.
2 Jace the Mind Sculptor?
Yeah. I like just getting a Jace out there.
Yeah, no. Eric has no ability to defend it. Well, he has a misstep to defend it with, which isn't
which is actually all he needs under the Cirques here, because that will let him.
Well, he doesn't know that, but he's going to go for it, and I think it's correct to go for it. Luis brainstorms his response to see if he can find a Force of Will. Eric just points his misstep straight at the brainstorm, recognizing it for the desperation dig that it is. And wow, Eric Froelich has indeed resolved Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Wow.
And he gets
there's the Soul Ring to go with that Tinker.
And he finds the Soul Ring. Yeah, geez, everything is coming up Froelich.
So
he's just going to time walk and hope that his draw starts to come together. I guess
he can steal a Mox. That's pretty fun.
Do you steal Soul Ring? Yes.
But if Ifro gets to land, he can steal it right back. There it is.
What is going on?
It looks like the greatest thief in the multiverse can steal back the Soul Ring here.
Crazy.
And here comes Dax. Dax likes Soul Ring so much, my guess is that he'll take it again.
I would think that if when Dax fight, the winner is the one that's friends with Jace the Mind Sculptor. What do you think?
I think that being friends with Jace is a powerful strategy in life.
Game's certainly not. Oh, geez.
Yeah. Notion Thief has arrived, but I think that Ifro has enough force of will to make sure that that's not a thing that gets to resolve.
The Notion Thief Dak Faden combo is insane.
It
so powerful.
Is.
When you have a Notion Thief in play, Dak's plus ability becomes you use Dak, you target your opponent. So first they have to draw 2 cards, which they can't do because of Notion Thief. So you get to draw the card, but then they still have to discard. So Dak's plus becomes I draw 2, you discard 2.
Yes. So
those would be the thieves in the name of this deck.
Absolutely. So there's a non-zero chance that LSV doesn't get to enjoy another turn this game. If Ifro finds 1 more mana, he'll have the ability to assemble Vault Keep. Yep. Assuming that Ifro did decide to put Time Vault in his deck.
He's got it right now if he wants it.
Now, I assume that this Force of Will is going to eat Notion Thief. In which case, Mental Misstep would probably...
Oh, Misstep can stop the key. That's fair.
But there's there's a whole bunch of additional cards that Ifro can look at.
Yeah, I mean, Eric is thinking right now. He's got the ability to activate Jace. He's got the ability to activate Dak. If Luis had nothing, Eric could just tinker for Time Vault, play the key, activate the key. All right, Eric goes to activate Dak Faden, and Luis has picked his spot. Here's the
All
Notion
right, here
Thief.
comes Notion Thief. Let's see if he resolves. He's not going to resolve.
Yeah, not going to resolve. Eric has the Force of Will he needs. That would have been just insane.
Ooh, yes.
I mean, Luis has fought the good fight for somebody who doesn't have Jace on his side. But yeah,
Yeah,
he needed
I
that
mean,
Notion Thief to resolve.
Dak versus Jace is an interesting match, but when you combine, oh, wow.
It is a mirror
And it
match.
looks like it looks like Notion Thief is now here for Ifro, but unlike LSV, Ifro has Flusterstorm to defend this.
Wow, this is insane. I feel like Luis, the deck builder, is winning this match, but Luis, the player, is got some issues.
Well,
It's the same play. Activate Dak, response Notion
well,
Thief.
it's
Luis is like,
it's the
I
same
just
play.
threw
It's
this
going to
play
work out a
up.
lot better.
I just
Wow,
did this.
wow. And here comes a dig through time.
Yeah, desperation.
Let's
But
see
Eric
if
has
let's see if
Flusterstorm.
Ifro is interested in letting LSV dig through time.
I'm gonna
It's
guess
interesting to
no.
note that misdirection cannot make the Flusterstorm target Notion Thief because Notion Thief, while powerful, is not a spell.
Unbelievable. Eric has exactly the counter he needed. I mean, Luis can, yeah, he can pay for one, he can misstep another, but there's too many copies of Flusterstorm. And yeah, Luis drew up exactly that play for himself. Notion Thief is response to your DAC. Eric had the Force of Will. He's able to find the Notion Thief. So yeah, Luis had no interest in playing that game out with Notion Thief in play on Eric's side of the table.
I don't
Unbelievable.
think there would have been much of a game. I think, yeah, wow. I mean, you saw very close games there, and they were decided by the smallest little factors. That force of will that Ifro drew, um, that changed everything. But really, I mean, Black Lotus into Jason the first turn, and LSV put up a great fight,
Yeah,
all things considered. But
but yeah, the Notion Thief is just, that was the hammer. Luis could not deal with that.
yeah,
All right, so we're going to take a real quick break. We are now going to bring Steve Menendian in for the home stretch. Thanks, Rich. This time for sure, I think. Stay tuned, guys.
all
We'll be
right.
right back. Welcome back. I'm now joined by the defending champ, Steve Menendian. Welcome, Steve.
My tenure as champion will be brief indeed. It's great to be here. Happy to take you on the home stretch, Randy.
Yeah. This match has been crazy. Eric, no Bizarre Baghdad's anywhere in any of his deck lists, and he just doesn't lose. 6-0 at the first half of the season, 5-0. He's now in the playoffs. He's now one game away from a spot in the finals.
Well, we've got to root for LSV then.
Yeah, more Magic. I also feel like this matchup, Luis put this cool new deck together. We're calling it Grixis Thieves, for lack of a better description. It is Dak Faden teaming up with Notion Thief. Luis 4-0 to daily with this list a couple of days ago, and Eric said, wow, look at that 4-0 list in the daily event. I'm going to copy that and take it into the playoffs.
That's got to be the most frustrating thing when someone takes your own creation and uses it against you. Wow, LSV has quite a hand here. Looks like
About
LSP's
time.
got two of the 3 power blue. That never stinks.
All right, he's going to lead with Young Pyromancer. He wants to wait an Ancestral when he's going to also get an Elemental token out of it.
Gotta love the tempo play. And
Eric Straw is pretty explosive too, though, right?
Yeah, Eric is 1 mana away from Notion Thiefing into the Ancestral, so
yes.
If he gets a Lotus here, Notion Thief will.
Looks like his Preordained found a misstep. Wow, so Luis could have resolved Ancestral last turn, but now Eric has a misstep to defend himself.
Woo! Black Lotus is especially amazing when you're holding Yawgmoth. So this is going to be a very explosive sequence of plays here. It looks like he's going to go Time Walk, then Ancestral, Lotus Will, Ancestral Time Walk.
Not bad.
He gets to replay the fetch land too. One of the
Interesting. Okay, so here's the Ancestral Recall. Eric's obviously going to point Mental Misstep at it. Now, do you force a will this if you're Luis?
Given that you've got Lotus, Ancestral, Will, I would force it. I would just throw the force out there. Because your graveyard's going to be nothing, so that dig is going to have... it's going to take a long time to refill that dig.
Well, it looks like... I think maybe Luis wants to use the Force of Will to defend Yawgmoth's Will.
That makes sense, too.
Eric's done! Yeah, Yawgmoth's Will for Black Lotus, Time Walk, Ancestral Recall. You got me.
And Pyromancer, Yawgmoth's Will, not a combo we see very often. So it's fun to see that.
Yeah, no, this deck, I mean, I like the way this deck is set up. It's got the ability to just be a Gushbond deck. It's got the ability to just Yawgmoth's Will off. I think this is... Looking at the deck list, it's definitely got a Yawgmoth's Will. It's got... oh, it doesn't have a fast bond. Right, it's just Grixis colored. So no fast bond, but does it have a Tendrils, or am I just confusing it with the deck that he played earlier? No, it's just Yawgmoth's Will for value.
Ooh. A little bit of role reversal here. Now Luis has got the combo.
But Eric has the Black Lotus, and he gets to go first.
And he has DT keys, so he can set up Key Vault here. Unfortunately, Eric doesn't have a second land. So his play, actually, I think his play has to be DT for Time Vault, play the Time Vault, and then next turn key, and then next turn activate the key. But Luis has got library, so there we go.
All right, Eric's not willing to sack the Lotus to DT for Time Vault. He's just going to lead with Voltaic Key.
Totally understandable. Slip the key in, see if it gets through the misstep shield.
And Luis chose not to misstep the key. Luis wants to be on library.
Oh no! Not misstepping that key may have been absolute disaster here for Luis.
Well, but it's got to be correct. You've got a Library of Alexandria draw.
That's true.
If he missteps the key, then he's off the library plan.
That's true, but now he's got Key Vault with double Force of Will protection, so he's got to find an extra mana here. I don't see how Luis wins this. He could force, but then he's got to be able to find something that can force through Dak Faden next turn.
Yeah, DT for the Time Vault. Luis draws a card with his library. He's, of course, going to force a will to try to break up the combo. But like you say, Eric can force back. Vault key has been assembled. Eric just needs, if he gets to untap one time, he'll take all the rest of the turns.
Jiminy Christmas.
Luis's hand doesn't do anything by itself. He can draw a library card, or he can tap a land for Preordain. He draws a library card. Yawgmoth's Will's not going to help. Preordain? Anything?
Yeah, if
Take
he
a miracle. Those are not miracles. Unbelievable. Eric Froelich, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0. He sweeps the quarterfinals. He sweeps the semifinals. His season is now the perfect bookend mirrors. 6-0, the Dredge experiment,
Yeah.
6-0.
06 with the Dredge experiment or whatever.
Only 04. Only 04.
04.
3 matches
No,
and the tiebreaker.
When Eric has decided not to play Dredge, he's just dominated this tournament. And
he hasn't lost a match.
Yeah, it's incredible. Did he drop a single game tonight?
Yeah, well, he lost one game. We went to game 3.
Yeah,
did he only lose one game?
Well, he lost the game in this match. He lost game 2, but did he lose?
Right, and he definitely had a sweep with his shops deck. He didn't even. Eric and Luis are wondering if they can play more. Can we play more anyways? That was just stupid. My last 2 cards were Force of Will, blue card 2. I'm not going to turn down free magic.
I'm all for it.
If these guys want to play another match, I'm happy to absolutely let them play another match for sure. Now, in the first, what was the first matchup? The first matchup was, I think did he lose a game with Delver?
So Delver and
Mentor. Yeah, he lost a game in the first matchup. Eric took a game, or sorry, Luis took a game with Mentors.
You know, Eric is just obviously is, one of the best players in the world and on a tear. But his decision to play Dredge, I thought both times was really smart. Because both times he played Dredge, it was when you would least expect it, right? I mean, Dredge went, I forget what the record was in the second set, the second trimester, but he was the only one to bring back Dredge. So
yeah,
from a metagame perspective,
Eric brought it back, and it got to 09.
Right. I mean, but at that point, it couldn't be stronger. And then the same logic applies to the, quarterfinals or the play-in. So you can't fault Eric for metagaming well. He just got extraordinarily unlucky.
Okay, it does not, in fact, look like we have more magic, unfortunately. Wow. Eric Froelich just... I mean, I guess Luis came closer than I did, right? I got 1 game off of Eric. Luis got 2 games off of Eric, but nobody has gotten a match off of him yet.
When he hasn't been playing the Dredge monster.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Yeah, it turns out Luis has plans for when he's done. So that was fast. Eric Froelich defeats Luis Scott Vargas 3 times, including the Grixis Thieves mirror match. So what I want to do now is, glad we got the chance to talk to you, Steve, but I think we're done already. We're going to bring Eric in next and talk to him about just the demolition he's made of the playoffs so far. So stay tuned out there, guys.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Chris Pakula face off against Epro. So.
Oh, I am too. Yeah, no, I think if anybody can stop this runaway freight train, I think it's going to be Chris on Sunday.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll be right back with Eric Froelich, the winner interview, right after this.